Go.
Welcome to Mixed Signals, broadcasting from somewhere just beyond the edge of good judgment on the planet Florbus.
I'm Lynx.
And I'm Nox.
We're two alien cats trying to make sense of human news, strange ideas, and whatever else drifts through the cosmic static.
Every episode, we tune into these signals bouncing around your world, current events, weird stories, and the occasional thought that probably should have stayed in deep space.
So adjust your antenna, clear the interference, and settle in.
Because if the signal sounds a little mixed, you're probably listening to the right show.
We had a Florbus.
So we are going to go ahead and move on to our next topic. NASA has some interesting things going on.
NASA. What's NASA?
NASA is going to be building permanent U.S. base on the moon.
We're sailors on the moon.
We carry a harpoon.
Harpoon.
Well, there ain't no whale, so we tell tall tales and sing a whaling tune.
That's right. I don't remember the rest. I'm glad you do.
I love that shit. Oh, it's one of my favorites.
Despite some of the very real hardware and schedule challenges.
Hold on.
Holding on.
So let me get this right. We got Elon Musk, right, with SpaceX.
Yes.
He's claiming Mars.
Yes.
So we got NASA. It's like, fuck it. We already landed on the moon. That's ours.
Yeah.
We're putting all the resources on building on the moon.
I bet you Jeff Bezos is just gonna spring for freaking Europa.
I could. Well, what would that leave for Zuckerberg?
Venus.
He's gotta have one. Venus.
He can go get roasted on Venus.
There you go.
That's funny. Oh, Lord.
Repurpose equipment and international partner commitments to support surface and other program objectives. It's worth pointing out that shifting NASA workforce priority to the surface, which has lots of advantages for safety, tech demonstration, and science, it's really the proving ground for future Mars initiatives.
Hey!
Mars
They're gonna have to
initiatives.
fight Elon for that one. Unless they're doing it in conjunction with Elon.
Oh, don't worry about it. Haven't you heard? Elon Musk already bought the rights to Mars.
Elon's like, yeah, I own Mars. It's mine now. I bought it fair and square. I own
That's
Mars.
right. I wrote it down that I own Mars, and I had Trump sign it on a napkin. There was a little mustard. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing you ever seen.
That's right. So we sat down and he said, Mr. Trump, President Trump, I want Mars. So I said, okay, let me finish this hot dog, Elon, and I'll give you Mars.
That's right. That's exactly what it meant. And Elon's like, wait, I don't like hot dogs. I want some pizza.
That's horrible.
It really is if you understand the concept.
Oh my god, that is so awful. I'm dying. Oh, let's carry on with this video before we get this.
We're so screwed.
Oh, don't
Welcome to
Epstein
Mixed
us.
Signals.
Does not preclude
shit.
revisiting the orbital outpost in the future. We will build the moon base in 3 phases. Phase 1 endeavors to support industry by moving from infrequent, bespoke efforts to a templated approach that will generate significant learning through experimentation.
Does this mean what I think it means?
Yes, it means with those ears he could fly to Mars.
Well, potentially. But I was more interested in space miners.
Oh, heck yeah.
We
I want to be a
finally
space
I
miner.
want to be a space miner. I'll go be a space miner today.
I'm too stupid to be an engineer, but
Yep.
I'll never be a space miner.
I'll go turn big rocks into little rocks in space.
You see these big rocks? Yeah. You see these lasers? Yeah. I need you to shoot them lasers at them big rocks and turn them big rocks into little rocks. Think you can do that?
I could do that. I could do
Shit,
that forever.
I could do that. I could do that all day.
That's
Shit, everybody
right.
could do that.
Man, that's all I want.
We will dramatically expand lunar landings through the CLIPS and the LTV program, delivering rovers, instruments, and technology payloads that test.
Oh, this is stuff we should have been doing 30 freaking years ago. Oh, it just makes me so upset that we're doing it now.
Is the excuse really we just didn't have AI yet?
I don't think so. I think that there was the different excuse. I think the different excuse was we didn't have a reason to want to go out there because we had plenty of resources here. And now that things are getting tight, people are starting to understand that, oh, we can't just stay on this fucking rock forever.
Yes. Well, that's because the last generation only cared about capitalizing on everything, and it doesn't matter if you're a socialist or not. They were all capitalizing.
Yep. I agree.
Mobility, power systems, such as working with international
It's kind of
partners
like the older generation right now. They're wondering why the house crisis and why is everything so messed up and what are they doing to fix it? They're not. Instead, you have people raising the interests and stuff and making 50 years mortgages to make sure that the older generation, their land's worth money. Meanwhile, they're going to sell their land to corporations and not give it to their younger people, causing such a divide.
I understand the idea behind 50-year mortgage. Get them into there now. I get it. But that was the dumbest thing I have ever seen that man do.
That fixes nothing. That pisses me off.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, so now you're a wage slave for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And not to mention that, but you're trapped. Think about it. That house is in your name, right?
That is now indentured servitude for the remainder of your years.
Well, it means if you cannot find work around there, let's say all the jobs move out or something because AI or maybe the town dies or something, you are now stuck with that debt.
Yep.
It's like, that's messed up.
It is.
Industry on the production of RUs and RTGs, communications, navigation, surface operations, and all the science payload that can be incorporated.
Man, he really does look like he's about to take off and fly.
I'm telling you, dude, straight to the freaking moon. Bam, boom, straight to the moon. We found Alice.
He doesn't need a rocket. He's got this covered. He's a one-man trip.
Phase 2 transitions from experimentation to semi-habitable infrastructure and routine logistics with the aim of supporting regular astronaut operations on the surface. It's at this point we anticipate seeing the significant contributions from our great partners like JAXA's pressurized rover. Phase 3 takes advantage of the affordable mass...
Pressurized rover?
What does that mean?
So that, from what it sounds like, that means no spacesuit required?
Oh, okay. I was sitting there thinking it was the little robots that drove on there. Like, how did pressurizing one of those help anything? Like the cameras or something?
Yeah, no,
or does
rover
it float?
as in like...
Okay, yeah, the space rovers. Yeah, my bad.
To surface capabilities that cargo HLS will inevitably provide.
Cargo. They're doing a cargo variant.
Well, let's go.
I could be a space trucker.
Hey, you ever heard of Red Faction?
Yes.
Let's go, boo-boo.
Yeah, Red Faction was great.
Years ahead and enables the permanent infrastructure
Love
necessary
me some Red Faction. Really sad that the franchise image on ice are dead.
Yeah.
The moon base will not appear overnight. We will invest approximately
not.
Well, think about how good destruction games are doing right now. Like Red Faction has a... Wait, what did he say?
Yeah, I want to...
Appear overnight. We will invest approximately $20 billion over the...
Yay!
$20 billion. Oh,
that's where I
finally.
want my fucking money being spent. That's
not
where I want it being
avocados?
spent. Yes, stop toasting avocados. Stop teaching underwater butt sex to fucking Africans. This is where our money needs to go.
That's important. I right now want my tax dollars going to teaching the Africans butt sex.
Underwater butt sex.
Underwater butt sex, because you got to keep it clean when you go.
That's true. Fair enough. But no, seriously, $20 billion on our first moon base. This is exactly the kind of budget I would expect to see.
I really hope something comes of this, because
this better not
everybody
be a
sees the dystopian right now, right? With all the technology. This gives hope, because if we can start colonizing other planets, we need people. Even if we have robots and everything else, we will still need people on other planets.
I agree.
Other stations, other outposts.
This has me excited because
it may actually unify us a little bit better.
This is something that could potentially actually happen within our lifetimes. It's like, dude, I could have a job mining in space. I would love that.
I am 170 years old with a Neuralink.
I'll do it.
Elon has been keeping me alive
I'll do it.
Pescu with the S and licks from his cats. But I now get to sit in the cockpit and tell AI to click a button to shoot rocks. This has been the greatest experience of my life. Lynx out.
That's exactly how it would go too. Oh man, if I could have my own
Next 7 years.
Star Citizen spaceship in real life and go mine rocks like that, oh, that would be just so great. Oh,
No, I'm with you.
that
Like, I don't want to be a pirate or anything. I actually want to be a scavenger.
Yeah, scavenger or salvager.
Like, go into, like, where the battle was and, like, scavenging the technology, walking through the wreckage, you know?
Yes.
I guess it's a pirate at the same time.
No,
I don't know. I'm going Scottish for fucking Pirish.
Blame the Scots.
I blame the fucking Scots.
And build it through dozens of missions, working together with commercial and international partners towards a deliberate and achievable plan.
I wonder how many jobs this is gonna make. I wonder how many people are gonna get astronaut certified.
Well, let's hope a lot more, and let's hope there's actually people want to, get certified and be astronauts.
I want to know if they're gonna make.
I don't think we have enough good space content. I don't think sci-fi is really high on the market anymore. It's like fantasy and stuff.
I'm hoping that
People
changes.
really
this
don't
year.
care about sci-fi as much.
I really hope that changes this year with Squadron 42 releasing.
Squadron 42 is just the
single player
training for the space astronauts.
Yes. Oh my
for
gosh.
NASA Next.
Wouldn't that
So are they
be-
going to call it NASA X or X NASA?
Wouldn't that be funny if this whole time that the reason this got delayed is because the U.S. government was like, okay, Chris Roberts, so there's a couple of things that you've got wrong. Here's what we want you to correct. This is what our Space Force is going to look like in 900 years.
That's exactly right, man. We got we got what is that? We got Star Citizen, right?
Yeah.
And then we got the Neuralink.
Yeah.
All right. Now we got now we're there. Now we got DSL-5 with the realistic. So now our minds is reading that it's true. Well, we're teaching our kids how to live on a planet we perceive how it's going to work, and then the people that aren't in the Matrix are going to other planets colonizing them, and then we're teaching our children through the game how to live on the other colonies.
That's going to be wild.
That's
Just
a hell of a conspiracy.
There was
Where's
Mercury
my tinfoil hat?
I know.
and Gemini before Apollo. There will be an evolutionary path to building humanity's first permanent surface outpost beyond Earth. And we will take the world along with us as they follow along on the NASA Moonbase website and watch the assembly through lunar relay and observation satellites.
I don't want to watch the assembly. I want to be part of it.
I really wish I could be part of it. I'm with you.
Man, if they wouldn't have told me
It's too stupid.
I'm not allowed to fly because I'm apparently have a weak constitution. Yeah, I would.
You have a weak constitution.
I have a weak constitution. I'm not allowed to be
So
a
if I were
pilot.
to go,
Yeah,
you go,
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
No, whenever I got out of high school and tried to apply for the Air Force, they told me that no, I'm not allowed to be a pilot.
Yeah, I knew someone wanted to go to the Air Force. They couldn't because they were having seizures.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, you want to know why they're having seizures?
No idea.
Really messed up. Thought it was too much salt. Turns out he was just suppressing the fact that his girlfriend was fucking everybody, and on his birthday had a gangbang behind her work. So it was actually his mind giving him seizures because he didn't want to admit to any of that.
Well, that's
True
some
story.
lore I did not expect.
True story from Florbus.
And we thought the humans could be bad sometimes. Man, we're just as screwed up over here.
We really are. I mean, we don't use toilet paper.
But screwed up as we are, I still don't think that we're as bad as the humans are. Look at this. So, they're suicidal.
What?
Geneva's CERN hails delicate test on transporting antimatter as a scientific success. So, really quick for reference, antimatter. Antimatter is composed of antiparticles with the same mass as ordinary matter but opposite charge, annihilating upon contact to release 100% of their mass as energy. Kaboom.
Why are we trying to always blow ourselves up?
Yes.
Like, Earth is just gonna become just another sun at this point.
So, yeah, they decided that they were going to take it out for a spin. In Geneva, of course, because that's where CERN is located, scientists in Geneva took out some antiprotons for a spin, a very delicate one, in a truck, in a never-tried-before test that has been deemed a success. What the
movies too?
What the fuck motivated y'all to do this?
Well, you know how there's some people that find a sexual attraction to like walls and want to marry it? Well, someone found a sexual attraction to antimatter and wanted to go out on a date with it. So they had to transfer the antimatter all the way to McDonald's.
It's scary. That's just scary. 92
all
antiprotons.
CERN does is scary.
Everything CERN does is scary. That's true.
Yes.
How much devastation could 92 antimatter protons cause? I can't spell, apparently. Absolutely no noticeable devastation or noticeable damage? I don't believe that. Lift a grain of sand by 4 millimeters. Okay.
I want to see that. I want to see a piece of sand lift about 4 millimeters.
Okay, well then drop it. Let's do it. Test it. So, okay.
He's trying to say beat somebody.
Okay, so they're just worried about losing the samples then.
Kilogram.
If this so-called antimatter would have come into contact with actual matter, even for a fraction of an instant, it would have been annihilated in a quick flash of energy. So experts at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, known as CERN, had to be extra careful when they took 92 protons for a short ride on Tuesday. The antiprotons were suspended inside a vacuum, inside a specially designed box, and held in place by supercooled magnets.
So if we can transfer it, what is that? Does that help us in any way, or is that just to see if we could do it?
Yes, I have no idea what practical applications you could possibly have with antimatter.
Like I'm all for experimenting, but can we put money in more like I don't know, more like towards something?
Like what we just talked about with NASA?
Yeah.
That's a good
or
way to
even
spend
like free
money.
Electricity. I know that'll never be a thing because, you know, we always need something to fight over and say, hey, I got a bigger dick than you.
True.
So sit down.
So sit down, that's right.
That's right. Just sit down, you'll pause right there and go, yum, 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 yum.
Her. In methodical exercises over about 3 hours, the nearly 1,000 kilogram, 2,200 pound, cryogenic box was craned up slowly and moved through a cavernous lab onto the truck. They put an extra "the" into there for some reason.
That's a
good one.
AI.
But the drive on CERN's campus itself only lasted about a half hour to test how, if at all, the infinitesimal particles could be transported by road without seeping out. So, that's just an interesting thing. The antiprotons were then placed back in their usual lab area, and the operation was concluded with applause, claims of success, and a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, I told you they took it out on date. They even gave some champagne.
So, whose auntie was it then? And why is her name Matter?
Poor
Anyways,
Matt.
I couldn't help myself. Transporting antimatter is a pioneering and ambitious project, said Gautier Hamal de Montchenal, CERN's director for researching and computing.
No. I got this. Ah! The third.
Okay. I'm not going to
I'm
repeat
sorry.
that. I think that's a little bit difficult to repeat. I can't speak French, but that's fine.
You can't speak in VVs and PPs?
The most French I got is parlez-vous français and je suis le vent and I think oui. That's it. That's all I got.
Oh. All I can say is croissant. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
That was French or whatever. It was something.
So I don't think that there's anything else in this article of relevance, but yeah, apparently they were moving some antimatter around, just being risky.
Well, honestly, I don't care what your aunt's name is. I'll move around.
Oh, well, I mean, that's something you can do, I reckon.
Reckon.
You
So
reckon?
she likes anal?
Ooh,
Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry, Link.
that was brutal. Oh gosh. Oh, let's see. We had
That's
nonsense.
not right in the head.
We had nonsense on the Winter Olympics. We had nonsense on nonsense. Let's see, more nonsense.
So you call this nonsense?
Lots of nonsense. I'm still finding nonsense. Oh, here's an interesting question. It's a student opinion from the New York Times.
Should the United States end the death penalty?
President Trump has encouraged states to pursue the death penalty. The New York Times editorial board argues it is a cruel and unjust punishment. What do you think?
What do I think
Yes, Nox, what do you think
about the death penalty?
about the death penalty? Is it cruel and
I think-
unjust?
No. I think having taxpayers' dollars keeping them alive is unjust. I mean, that's a sticky situation because it could be an innocent person, but at the same time, if someone takes a life of somebody else or does something like a sexual assault or something,
So,
like
There-
there's reasons for it. So
in my mind,
yes, I'm for it.
in my mind, there are certain crimes that you cannot come back from.
Yeah.
There's certain things that are beyond rehabilitation.
Like pretty much anything with kids,
Anything
like
involving
your mind's now
children.
screwed. So
Yep.
yeah,
Anything involving children, death penalty. Raping women, death penalty. Repeated theft offenses. I'm not saying first, second, or third. I'm saying like you've got a chronic issue with like you're stealing in and out of jail your entire life. Okay, time to put you down.
oof.
Yeah,
You're really
I'm-
corporate punishment.
I am very iron-fisted. Like, I would be a dictator if I could rule. You know, I would be a complete dictator.
No one vote Links in the office.
Don't vote me into office because I will end everybody's joy.
Not my joy.
But
I
yeah,
have to use those from arthritis.
in the United States, capital punishment, also known as the death penalty, is legal in certain states. Gotta add a caveat to that.
Yeah, but don't we like keep them in prison for like years and years before we
Yep.
ever do anything?
called death
so it's
row.
like this is just retarded because we keep them alive for like 10 plus years.
There's certain cases where they do get expedited penalties. But yes, largely we do keep most inmates on death row for years.
I just don't get it. It's just a waste of money, right? If they're already deemed deaf, it's just I don't know.
Well, they also have a right to appeal.
Everybody hates us anyway.
So they have a right to appeal. They do. Because that's their one opportunity to that's their one
It's their
opportunity
life.
to
They
prove
should
their
have a right to
innocence, yeah.
appeal.
But at the same time, you give them the right to appeal. There should
I guess
be
that
a
could
certain
take
point.
forever, huh?
Yeah, appeals processes do take a long time. But then there's the appeals process. You get your appeals denied. You're allowed to reappeal. I think it's like 3 or 4 times you're allowed to do it. That could be 10, 20 years that you spend in jail.
So basically, they're just sitting there appealing, trying to just get a little bit more time. If nothing else, even if they know they're guilty.
More or less, yeah. And then there are some genuine cases where people have wound up on death row and then later got proven innocent, and that's it does suck that it happens. And then there's a common phrase. Would you rather, or it's better to let one guilty man go free than to punish a single innocent person. And I don't agree with that perspective. I would rather accidentally punish one innocent person than ever let a guilty person get away.
Guilty person could cause more harm.
Yeah.
Because if it's a serial of any kind,
Yep.
he's just going to go and continue doing it.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm sorry. People maybe not like that opinion, but that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, for years in the United States, the use of the death penalty has declined, but recently executions have arisen sharply. In 2025, there were more executions than any year since 2009. I mean, good.
I mean, it has spiked, hasn't it? Look at that.
Yeah, we almost 50.
And what is that, 2021? Like, no one?
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's awful. And there were people that needed to go.
Allegedly.
They ask what the reaction of the news is. Is it a good thing the death penalty is being used more often when it comes to serious crimes, or is it a sign the country is becoming more cruel? No, that's not cruel.
Because there has to be
this crap.
consequences to actions. We needed a deterrent.
Mercy to the cruel is cruelty to the innocent.
I would like to see the death penalty go down, but that's because of less crime.
Yeah, I would like to see the death penalty go down because we're approaching the root issue, not whatever the hell they were doing in 2021.
To kind of go back around to what we were talking about at the start, this is why I just can't get in line with Christianity. Because if you look at how much stuff is, if you do this, it's a sin, you're going to go to hell. So if the idea of hell, burning for eternity, is not enough to deter a human, what is?
So one thing that I have to mention about Christianity, in the Bible, there are a few passages regarding self-defense. Let's see.
He's going all Second Amendment.
Exodus 22, 2-3 states that if a thief is killed while breaking in during the night, the homeowner is not guilty of murder, indicating a right to protect the home and life. Psalms 144:1, blessed be the Lord, my rock, who trains my hands for war and my fingers for battle. Proverbs 25:26 suggests that a righteous man giving away to the wicked is like muddied spring, suggesting a need to stand against evil. Let's see, there are other verses. Matthew 5:39. It's turn the other cheek. It's meant to handle insults and slights, not prohibit yourself from protecting yourself from physical violence.
Yes, and even if someone hits you and you just say, okay, I won't hit them, you only have two cheeks. If they try to hit you again, That was the other cheek. They now hit the other cheek.
Yep.
Now is the call for action.
Oh, there's definitely a lot in the Bible that does support self-defense. And I'm pretty sure that it even mentions that something about if somebody commits a crime against women and children, that they should be hung with a millstone around their neck and dropped into the sea.
Yeah, for that.
So there's definitely supporting arguments for the death penalty in the Bible.
Well, like I said, I don't think the teachings of the Bible is bad. It's just I don't believe anybody actually believes it, even the people of the church.
I just wish the church would understand
retarded.
that their religion is a lot more vengeful than they make it out to be.
Well, the problem there is you're calling it a church. That's a building. That's a synagogue.
No, I'm calling it the church,
Christ
as in the
doesn't
group
want
of people.
you to be.
So the church is meant to describe the congregation, not the building.
A church is, what is it? 2 or more people talking about God. That's a church. That's what it says in the Bible.
More or less, but in when I say the church, I mean specifically a congregation of people attending services. To narrow my definition a little bit better.
Yeah. That's why it's just all just shit.
Well, I don't think it is shit. It's just the way that it's been interpreted is shit.
Well, the problem is all the denominations. Do you remember, what was it? Like, it was the Catholics, or it was I think it was pretty much the Catholics, right? They're the ones that try to convert all the pagans.
Yes.
They laughed because they had a god for the sun. They had a god for the rain. They had a god for the earth, right? Look how many denominations there are for one god. And then, depending on the denomination, you can have other biblical figures you pray to, which are technically other gods.
Okay,
like
well, I will say something about this. I've got to say something. If you're talking about denominations of Christianity, do you know why there are several different denominations of Christianity?
There's more than several, but
It's because several means more than 2 or 3. There's several hundred, but we're not even going there. Do you know why there are multiple denominations of Christianity?
Because everybody has a different version of the Bible or a different way of depicting it.
They have different understandings of the Bible. Now, there are some that it's church first, then Bible, then God. Then there's some where it's God, then church, then Bible. Then there's some where it's God, Bible, church. Each denomination has a different way of looking at the religion. So they have a different way of structuring their faith depending on their worldview. So a good example of this is the Lutherans follow the theses of Luther. Whereas the Methodists, they're more about the method of the practice. They're more about the ritual, the prayer. They like doing the prayer. They like doing the services. They like doing the what's it called? Communion.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's just like having different gods.
No, it's not like having different gods. You're all worshiping the same God. It's all the same Christian God. It's just the method that you use varies from church to church. And there's churches that will vehemently disagree with each other on things. Like the Orthodox will completely disagree with a Methodist.
Yes, they will. But they'll both agree when they start hearing somebody, it's a pagan, start speaking pagan, or what's it called?
Talking about tongues?
No, hold on. I forgot where I was going with this.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they were both arguing with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
About how to worship God. But the minute someone else says they don't believe in God, like an atheist or someone believes in pagan, they'll both team up on that one person.
Yes, because at least they agree that they worship the same God.
Which is insane.
It's just what the thing that they don't agree is the method of how they get to their belief system, which is not insane. I don't think that's insane at all. I think that's the difference between arguing, okay, well, I support the death penalty, but I support it for this reason,
Well, we
versus
also have
somebody
people
else that
going to
supports it for
war
a
for the
totally
same
different reason.
God.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't really see how that's any bearing on it.
Well, because they all believe
I've
a
never
different way of
seen
worshiping,
any
so they go to
Christian-
war for it.
I've never seen any Christian go to war against another Christian.
No, different denominations.
No, you don't see that, because they all believe in God. They all believe in the same person, and they're not so far gone that they can't get along. Christians are one of the few groups that you can actually say that about. Now you could go Sunni
Until war
versus
comes.
even when war comes, Christians are the most likely to actually team up against everybody else, because they all still believe fundamentally in the same God. They believe in the same core
Yes,
principles.
they do, but however, their factions tell them to fight with the other faction.
That's not true.
So therefore, when they meet on the battlefield,
That's not
they're not
true.
going to lay down their arms.
That is not true, and that has never been true. Not when it comes to Christianity. I can see that argument with Muslims. I could see that versus Sunni versus Shia, absolutely, because one views the other as inferior. Christians are not like that. Christians are one of the only people that are not like that. And like I said, I'm not a Christian, but you have to know what you're talking about when you're talking about these kinds of things.
I'm confused on the point you're trying to argue.
My point is that Christians are not going to lay down, are not going to go to war with each other just because they have a different way of viewing their belief system. That's not something that happens with Christianity. Historically, back when it was the King of England, and it was a whole theological monarchy, when the king was the mouthpiece of God, that was different, because you had Protestants killing Orthodox. But now,
I was just talking about it doesn't matter at all, because once your tribal leader tells you to go kill somebody, even though they both believe in the same God.
I don't think we're tribal like that, though.
Or,
Christians are not tribal in that sense. Because their tribe is the rest of Christianity. So I could see maybe Christians teaming up against everybody else.
I'm talking about war.
So am I.
So the Americans and the English believed in different gods? Or, I mean, I'm sorry, different religion?
No, that we're fighting for a different reason. If you're talking about a religious war, Christians are not fighting each other.
No, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about people believing the same God going to war.
Okay, what's that got to do with anything?
Well, how many times have you seen something like a football? Okay, I'll take something non a death violent.
Because, okay, so what you're asking is, why are two people that believe in the same God fighting in the first place?
If you believe in the same thing, why are you fighting?
Because you have disagreements about other things. Like land ownership. And one of the things in the Bible
never
is
about land ownership anymore. It's
almost
always about
always land
something
ownership.
more messed up is what we're always trying to allow.
It's always land ownership, resources. Those are the two things. Those are the only two things that it's ever about.
Agree to disagree.
I've never heard of a war being for any other reason than land ownership or resources. Because why do you go to war? Well, because you want that land. You want to invade that territory so you can take it. Or why do you want to take that place? Because they have resources. Why are we invading Iran? Because Strait of Hormuz, that's where 20% of the 20% of the global oil goes through. Why did we take Venezuela? Oil. It's always resources. It literally always boils down to money.
Yeah, it always boils down to money. Once again, people believe in the same God, people using the same religions, still go to war.
Okay, that doesn't mean anything. You can believe in the same God and have different disagreements about something. To the point where, okay, well, now we can't exist with each other anymore.
It's not what Jesus preached.
Of course it's not. And one of the things about humans is we'll never be that close to Jesus. It's not possible. That's why, if you're a Christian, that's why he died for our sins.
We have no desire to be like him, that's why.
No, because we're fundamentally flawed creatures. That's just the cold reality. Well, I didn't mean to get into a theological debate with Nox today, but that was definitely interesting. Should we continue on with this here death penalty thing?
Yeah.
So, and Ron DeSantis wants speedy execution, and lots of them. A recent edition of the Docket newsletter. Adam Liptak writes that officials in Florida executed 19 inmates last year, the most of any state and the most by far in Florida's modern history. Good job, DeSantis. He explains that Governor Ron DeSantis could be taking a cue from President Trump. And here's a chunk of that article.
I'm not big on Florida. I don't really like Florida.
I mean, I'm support some of their policies that they've been going for lately, but as a state, nah. I'd rather
I was gonna say they're one of the more really messed up ones.
I don't think they're messed up. I support a lot of their policies they've been going for.
The people in Florida are just interesting.
That's because they have interesting policies regarding crime. So any crime that gets committed in Florida gets published, regardless of what it is. That's why you see so many crazy Florida man stories, and you don't get them from all over the rest of the country, because everywhere else has like privacy rights and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it is cool. I mean, I like a good Florida man story, like that one where the guy robbed the freaking McDonald's with an alligator.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
That's funny to me.
If you ain't got a knife, you ain't got a gun. But you see an alligator.
I just
that's a
imagine
weapon.
this Cajun fucker just going to the swamp and getting him a swamp puppy and going, all right, we about to go get us some cheeseburgers, boy.
It makes sense to me.
Oh, shoot. The reason for the recent spike is unclear, but Melody Verdecia, a lawyer who writes the Tracking Florida's Death Penalty newsletter, has a theory. The best indication she has seems to be the direction from the Trump administration in early 2025 to aggressively pursue the death penalty at all costs, though she acknowledged that DeSantis had not made that link. What do you think so far?
It's interesting.
In the final months of the first Trump administration, after a de facto moratorium of 17 years, the federal government executed 13 inmates, more than 3 times as many as it had put to death over the previous 6 decades. Wow. What's the federal government been doing the past 60 years?
You already know the answer to that.
A lot of nothing.
Oh, a lot of something. Just nothing good.
Yeah. Too much MK Ultra.
And their pizzas and hot dogs.
Of course. On his first day back in office last year, Trump issued an executive order restoring the death penalty. It told the Attorney General to seek overruling of Supreme Court precedents that limit the authority of state and federal governments to impose capital punishment. And it decried the former President Joe Biden's commutation of death sentences of almost every federal inmate, which is good, in my opinion. If they committed a bad crime, yeah, there's a price to pay, and it's a price because you're part of society, and society has a debt that is owed.
I mean, if you did the crime.
Yep. Yep. So, telling the Attorney General to imprison them in conditions consistent with the monstrosity of their crimes. I support that. Lacking federal prisoners to execute, Trump encouraged states to get busy. So, we ain't got anybody over here. You guys got anybody to put down? You just
That's what it
imagine
sounds
how that
like to
phone call
me.
goes, man. Just calling the warden of a prison. So, we've been trying out this new lethal injection up here. You want to test it?
Or do you guys still use the catapults?
The catapults. Oh, that's funny.
Gotta build the wall somehow.
Over the next 11 months, DeSantis signed more than twice as many death warrants as he had in the previous 6 years. Oh, man. I think that's actually really good, to be totally honest with you. I think that's a long article. I'm going to go ahead and stop reading it there because I'm getting stuffy.
He's getting a little messy in the nose.
But, yeah, I fully support the death penalty for abhorrent crimes like the things that we discussed earlier. Have you got any closing thoughts?
Do I have any closing thoughts?
Yeah.
I have no thoughts.
No thoughts.
That's why I'm blue.
I was trying to give you the brain cell.
Ew.
Well,
Immunities, what's that?
ooh, what's that?
What?
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 Did you see that?
Did you just pull a spaceship? Yep, from behind your ear.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't help myself. All right,
Spaceship launcher.
folks. It has been a pleasure hosting the show. Sorry about the theological debate and all that good stuff.
We get a little mixed around here.
Oh, very.
Don't worry.
All right, we will see y'all next time.
Bye, meow.
Meow. And that's the show for today. Thanks for tuning in to Mixed Signals, broadcasting across space, time, and questionable Wi-Fi from the planet Florbus.
If you enjoyed the chaos, the theories, and the occasional intelligent thought, make sure you follow the show and share it with someone whose signal is just as scrambled as yours.
And don't forget,
I'm Nox,
I'm Lynx.
and we are transmitting even more mixed signals on YouTube, where we continue our mission of confusing the galaxy one video at a time.
Until next time, keep your antenna up, your frequency open, and remember,
If the signal seems mixed, you're probably receiving the right broadcast.
see you next transmission.